Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Soul Flow Conversations. I am your host, Dedrick the Cookie Man, and our co-host, Ms. Jessica Fields, the phenomenal Miss Fields, will be here shortly. On the stage currently, we have Miss Cora. Yes, indeed, she's gonna um, be on the panel as we discuss several topics. We have a few things we're gonna discuss on the show tonight, and it's gonna be a little bit lighter, a little lighter show. We're gonna have some discussions about some things and some things in entertainment as well. So, excuse me. The title of the show is Hard Truths and Some Positives to Share with the World about some of the things that you've learned along the way. In regards to just people in general, relationships, or whatever the case is. But some things, some hard life lessons that you've learned, life lessons that we've all um, observed. Because some lessons you don't really have to experience to learn from. Some lessons you can just really observe and stuff like that. And but to start it off, the one trending topic and post that I've seen today for the last couple of days actually has been the married woman kissing Chris Brown on the stage, right? And her husband apparently was just standing there and on the front row just watching all this stuff and ended up divorcing her, serving her papers after that happened. And one of the baffling things that had me a little just scratching my head was her justification for it. Oh, it was just a moment. I was having a moment, and it wasn't that serious. Well, the husband responded, "Well, okay, well, this divorce ain't that serious, then." So that was pretty much the gist of how everything was going. And I personally I don't understand how you would. Okay, if Chris Brown called you on stage, okay, I know that's kind of a once in a lifetime type of thing, but you're a married woman, you're a spouse, and your husband is with you. So, and what I observed in the video was the fact that I literally saw her tongue come out of her mouth, kissing Chris Brown on stage in front of millions of people. And her husband was right there to witness that. And I don't understand how you allow a moment in time to jeopardize your whole marriage. I don't get it. That's just something that blew my mind. So, did you see that, Cora?
That first time hearing it, I'm like, and I got a client in here. It's a guy this time.
Oh,
Look,
hey.
he said, "What's up?" He said, OMG. This is my first time here because I don't literally watch the news as much or watch what's going on. But just hearing it from the first time, I'm like, all right, I'm like on the husband side. Because, like, why would you even take your wife to a Chris Brown? Everybody got a different opinion. I don't even really do concerts, but that is the atmosphere that breeds that nature, that immaturity. And the fact that she's like Chris Brown already exudes a certain type of energy. So at the end of the day, she it brought out some tendencies. She not, I guess she not ready to be married. She's still into the fan life. It's a lot of ways that this could go.
Well, here's my thing. Going to concerts and stuff ain't my issue. You can cheer for your favorite vocal artist, ain't my issue. Rhonda happens to like Anthony Hamilton a lot, right? I don't care if she goes to concerts and watch Anthony Hamilton. I'll go with her and I'll sing along and all that stuff, right? But so the concert ain't my issue. It's the disrespect, right? It's the she did not think for a moment. Like she was literally laying on a chaise, and Chris Brown was like kind of over her, and he put his face up to her face, and was literally, and she grabbed his face and started kissing him. First of all, a kiss is an intimate thing. First of all, you just don't, even prostitutes don't kiss their clients like that. You know what I'm saying? They save that for whoever they actually care about. Like, kissing is an intimate act. You just don't go around French kissing random people. And Chris Brown is a random person. Yeah, you know his music very well, but you don't know that dude. Now, keep in mind, he's performing. This is a tour. So how many other women has that happened with, right? And then on top of that, you're a married woman. You're not a girlfriend. You're not a side. You're not some chick you casually dealing with. You're a spouse. You're literally a wife. And then you go on stage and you pretty much initiated the kiss, really. But you're gonna justify it by saying it's no big deal. It was just Chris Brown, and it's no big deal, really. Is that what we're doing? And then had the audacity to try to gaslight the husband, saying that, well, if you wanted a divorce over something as small as this, then you didn't really love me. What?
The world is coming to, and people do stuff without thinking, and it's just different things going out. It's the whole spirit that breeds it. That's what my whole point exactly. Like that. That is crazy. This is my first time hearing it, so now I'm like shocked because I'm like, the fact that you say Mary, like you basically in public live, so
yeah,
he got to move.
And a lot of women, they don't think about the other side of things. They don't think about how that man feels. They don't think about what that looks like from a man's point of view. They just think about the moment. Now, you can argue that same thing about how some men do some stupid things. But this right here, you're in a public place in front of thousands of people, and your husband is with you. He paid for the ticket. He paid for you to be there. So both of you can go and enjoy the concert, because apparently he liked Chris Brown music. So ain't nothing wrong with him going. But my whole point is, have respect for your freaking husband. Have respect for your freaking husband. What are you doing? And then you're going to freaking try to gaslight him. Wait, it's because he loves you that he's divorcing you. Like she didn't catch that. It's because he loves you that he's divorcing you, because that hurt that much that he has to let you go. Because if you for the streets, if in a moment, so what? Okay, so if he came home and whatever, y'all was at a party or get together or whatever the case is, and he went with a chick, are there children around? There children in there?
Oh, you good? It's not.
Okay, so okay. So if he went to a party and he was on the couch and the chick was tipsy or whatever the case is, and he whipped it out and she put, she gave him some slurpy, but it was just a tip. Oh, it's no big deal. Is that gonna be the same thing? Like if he was with a coworker and he grabbed him 2 handfuls of cheeks during that hug, right? Oh, that hug wasn't no big deal. So that's no big deal to you? Like she's got to put it in perspective. Like, you just kissed another man on stage, not just any kiss, not no peck on the cheek. No, this was I saw tongue. Like, what are you doing? So does he get the same excuses if it was just a tip, baby? That she thought it was something else. She thought it was something to drink, baby. It ain't no big deal. Like, are you gonna give him a pass for that? Like, that was full on cheating. That was cheating. So you can't. I don't understand how some people, they just do stuff and then don't try to. They're not accountable at all. Because this chick was not accountable at all. I'm just like, wow. Okay, so you just gonna try to gaslight dude, and you're the person who did this. Like, wow, okay. I don't get it.
You want to hear the remarks my client had to say? If you want
Yeah,
to.
sure.
What's your name? What's your name? Yeah.
Street name or government name?
Oh, he said street name or government name. We want to hear your point of view about that. What you just
Okay. First of all, you nervous because
trying to share this way, no?
can you hear me? No, first of all, you nervous because if she act like that on stage in public in front of her husband, then she gonna be a groupie backstage and do all type of stuff. So you gotta be a grown woman on stage, act like you married. If not, guess what? Man, you gotta leave her alone. That's just my little opinion.
Yeah, what you thinking of it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you gotta leave her alone.
First of all, I would have never went on stage to begin with, because you already know how they act. You have to know freak and all that dumb stuff, but kissing in the mouth is extreme. Are you forgetting that you're wearing your wedding ring
No,
each time?
that's just a kiss on the mouth in DC. What about San Francisco? What about Charlotte? What about Houston?
Mm.
You know, so you kissing all them
Right.
states too.
Say you kissing all the states too.
Right. So so this is what she apparently said, and I quote, she says, it was just a friendly kiss. I didn't cheat, I just got carried away.
She got carried away. Of course, you got carried away. You got carried away from the relationship, and you got carried away from the bed. So there you have it. And what does Chris Brown have to say about all this?
Nothing. He ain't got he's an entertainer. He ain't got nothing to say.
You better watch it.
Because my thing is what would he have to say? Nothing. He does this everywhere he goes. So that's just like, you remember when they was paying thousands of dollars to take a picture with Chris?
Oh yeah.
And those women were all up on him, got their legs wrapped around the man, all kinds of disrespectful stuff. And these women were in full-fledged relationships. They weren't single women. Some of those women were not single. And then when the video or the pictures got out, they was wondering why their men were leaving them. Like, ma'am, you got your whole body on top of this other dude with your legs wrapped around him to take a picture. You can take a picture with Chris Brown and let it be something that was just kind of, you don't got to be doing all that extra stuff. Well, for what?
Wow. Just a mind blower. That's a mind blower right there. I'm shocked. This is my first time hearing it, so I'm just shocked.
For me, I don't know what has happened to our society to the point to where there's no shame whatsoever about nothing. Like, I mean, there's literally, it's almost like they're numb and desensitized. Like, there's no shame on how they behave, how they act, how they respect other people, nothing, or themselves for that matter. But then they wonder why nobody takes them seriously. There was a question that asked why men have lost interest in being married. And I said, well, actually, men would actually desire to be married if there was somebody worth marrying. If they literally found somebody worth marrying, we don't mind getting married to the right person. Right. But with this prostitute mentality that a lot of these women have, it's kind of difficult because some of these women have garbage personalities and mentalities. They pretty, but as soon as they open their mouth, they just ruin the whole thing.
It's TV, social media, things they try to follow, trying to be popular. All of this play a part in our new age world, women. So the kids are definitely going to follow the young moms and the moms who thinking, oh, I can do this to be this, but for real, it's just ratchetness.
Yeah, I just don't get it. And and the craziest part is they want the best men, the men who make the most money and all the tallest guy, but you ain't even the best woman. So make that make sense. I'm sorry, but you don't qualify. But yeah, I just found that real interesting, and whatnot. I just want to kind of touch on that real quick before we went into the other stuff. But I just found that very interesting. Some of the and for the most part in the posts that I've seen, all of them, a lot of people pretty much was on the man side, because that was foul for her to go and do, and stuff like that. So it was just that was just wild. That was wild. So here's another one. It says the woman Chris Brown kissed on stage insisted that the kiss shouldn't be a reason for her husband to leave her, as she enjoyed the moment, passionately kissing him back while her husband watched in distress from the front row. He was visibly shocked, hurt, and shaken, and he felt betrayed and disrespected. She defended her actions, claiming it was merely a friendly kiss and not cheating, stating, "If you want to leave me over this, it proves that you never truly loved me." Oh my goodness. That's terrible. That's terrible. How you gonna gaslight the dude and you the person who violated? That's crazy. That's crazy. But all right, so we're gonna segue over into some hard truths, life lessons, things that and stuff like that we learned throughout life and whatnot. And I'm gonna start off by saying you cannot expect you from other people, because sometimes the way you would handle a situation is not going to be the way another person handles that situation. And then you find yourself hurt. Your feelings are hurt because you can't believe that person did X, Y, and Z, or would say what they said, whatever the case is. And you're sitting there pondering, well, why would they say this? Why would they do this? Well, for me, I'm not pondering anything. It was the simple fact that they did it. They disrespected you and they did it. They came out of their mouths wrong and they did it. I lost someone I considered a very close friend because she decided to come out of her mouth wrong. I'm not going to ponder why she did it. It's the fact that we've had those discussions before, and she came out her mouth disrespectful, and then she cursed me and then hung up the phone. I'm saying, wow, okay. So that's where we are. All right. Well, I'm going to say the rest of what I have to say in text, and you will not get another phone call from me, because if you hang up on me, you will not get another phone call. And I stopped doing that in high school. If you hang up on me, you will not get another phone call. And if that's the last time we speak, then guess what? That's the last time we speak, especially if it's not my fault. So for me, I don't expect what I would do from another person. It keeps me from being disappointed all the freaking time. My grandma used to always say, don't put your faith and trust in man, because man will deceive you, and stuff like that. So something my grandma used to always tell us, and stuff like that. She said, it's good to have people that you can trust, but I'm going to tell you, she said, you're going to be able to count them on one hand. I was like, okay. And then all of that stuff came together when, I graduated, while I was in college and graduated from college and went on through life. A lot of those things showed themselves, but that was one thing that I learned. One of those hard truths that I learned in life. You can't expect you from other people. You got something?
Do I got a hard truth? Y'all got a hard truth that y'all learned From experience, I think one of mine is keep your friends close, but keep your frenemies closer. Y'all got a hard truth. What's a hard truth? I know you got some good ones.
You probably do.
You got some good ones.
I'll let y'all go first.
But she went already.
Yeah.
No.
Keep your friends close. Keep your frenemies closer.
I've really been saying I do that. That's what I
It's not coming to it right now.
Okay. So
He said money is the root of all evil. That's a hard truth.
is he sure about that? Or is it the love of money that's the root of all evil?
Are you sure about that? Or is it the love of money?
I mean, how you word it, it's still money.
She said how you word it is still money.
Well, money is just a tool. Money makes you less or more of what you already are. That's why I say the love of money is what causes people to do the things they do. If you're a good person already, more money is just going to make you an even better person. You know,
I agree.
if you're a rotten person, well, you're going to be an even more rotten person with money. Like, because that's why they always say money don't make you a better person. It just means that you got more money. That's all it means. But it's the love of money. It's what people will do to get money, and stuff like that that makes the biggest difference. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Money itself is just a tool. You can do a whole lot of great things with money if you have the right intentions, you know. But as far as the question, I know. Let me see. What's another good one? Oh yeah. I know one of my mentors, Johnny Wembry. He would always say you have to refuse to allow someone else's opinion to become your reality. Because a lot of people, they have a whole lot to say about your life and what you do and all this other stuff. But if you're focused on a thing and you have a vision, don't ever allow somebody to take that vision away from you, because your vision is not somebody else's vision. And a lot of people are very, very short-sighted because of their life experiences and stuff like that. That's one reason why when children have all these big dreams and all these big old grandiose things that they want to do in life, don't kill their dreams. Don't kill their vision. Because I know a lot of parents, they do that. I want to be an astronaut. You ain't gonna be no astronaut. That's white people. Or that's, you know what I'm saying? I've heard those things happen, and the kid looks torn down because the parent didn't even have any belief in him. So it's very, the power, the power of the tongue is very, very real. Because once you beat something down in a child for quite a while, it really suffocates those dreams. And those kids don't, they can't be positive because you won't allow them to be positive. They won't. If they're dreaming big dreams, let them dream big dreams. Because these days these kids are learning at crazy rates, So you got to be careful what you absorb and let people plant inside your head. So that was another really good one. Another one of my mentors, Carlos A. Rogers, he used to always say that if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Because some people they love to if you are saying something positive and the only thing they got to contribute is something negative and stuff like that, you find us a solution and they steadily trying to find something wrong with what you just said. Let them keep that opinion. You don't have to take it. Let them stay on negative road and but you just gonna have to remove yourself from that. You good, Cora?
Listening, I'm like, life is an interesting thing with a lot of different opinions. So at the end of the day, all you can do is just kind of like not really lean on yourself, but just try to understand who you are and what to accept from people, what not to accept.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So in one of our groups, okay, so hold on. Wow. Whew. And another thing, I know I posted about a week back, that it's okay to quit. And a lot of people say, well, no, it's not okay to quit. I said, it is okay to quit. I said, so let me explain what I mean. Quit allowing people to affect your day. Quit allowing outside forces to affect you internally. It's okay to quit. It's okay to quit allowing people to be disrespectful to you and allow them to stay in your life. It's okay to quit, quit allowing yourself to be abused and misused and mishandled. You know what I mean? It's okay to quit. I always say people got to stop being mad at people for revealing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times you're not really mad at those people. You're mad at yourself that you didn't see it sooner. So sometimes you just have to allow people to be exactly who they are, believe it, and then adjust. Because some people are family and you can't really cut them. Well, you can cut family off, but sometimes you just got to limit access to your life and stuff like that, so and that's how you kind of try to stay on a positive plane and stuff like that when you got a lot of people who want to insert their negativity in your life, and then sometimes you just got to tell somebody flat out, yo, I can't be around you, because every time I'm around you, you always got something negative to say about anything and everybody. Like, I can't be around you more. I that kind of energy affects me. Sometimes you just got to tell people that, because they're not around people that's actually going to tell them the truth. And sometimes you just got to tell people the truth, So, but those are some truths that I've learned and I've observed throughout my little life. Now we can get back to the juicy stuff if you want. Now we can always do that now. Now there was another social media post that in regards to men, as far as what have we accepted as a hard truth as a man, and some of those truths were very, very, they hit hard, because of course when you're a woman, you see things as a woman see things. A lot of women don't see things both sides and stuff like that. They don't sometimes they don't really see things that way. So hold up. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I just gotta. What? I just got a text by somebody saying they sent me $200. I'm like, I don't think you sent me $200. I think I would know that if you sent me $200. I think I would know. But yeah. Huh. Anyway, that's weird. Okay, sorry about that. That message just kind of messed me up. I'm like, wait a minute, who sent me $200, and for what reason did you send me $200? All right. I'm sorry. That was just a little distracting right then. I was like, well, wait a minute, time out. But some of those truths were that a man's mental health is not. No one cares about a man's mental health. That was another response to that question. No matter how much we tell the truth, everybody will think that we're lying. And this gentleman says, if you expect people to treat you how you treat them, then you will be disappointed every time. Mental health is not important to a lot of women. And this is a lot of men responding to this prompt. A man is only valuable so long as he can do for you. Our first flowers are given on our last day. Ooh, Lord. Ooh. That's a lot of hard truths they got on this post. But
are you getting questions in off the line, or is that what you distracted about?
Huh?
Are you getting questions in, or is that
what did you say?
I didn't know if you did you ask a question, or I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure I was on point.
Oh no. This was a question that was asked, and there was people who had responded to this particular question, and the question was, it was hit me with the one harsh truth you've accepted so far as a man.
Oh, okay.
So I was just kind of reading some of the responses. Yeah, I was trying to find the video so I could show you what actually happened at that concert. I was trying to find that video, but I can't seem to find it. Here's a question. If a man takes a woman on a date, is he obligated to feed her kids too?
Oh, okay. So I gotta let him hit
You
his.
didn't bring food back to the kids?
Is he obligated to feed her kids too? If a man takes a ride on a date.
Well, no.
Well, she took the what? You take the
Wait, are the kids on the dates? Well, at home.
Thank you. Like, what's
That's two different things.
That is. Cause they went.
Because I'm not psychic. I wouldn't know. I'm like, okay, you might not even know she have kids. Because she might have a babysitter. So, like the kids, let me put it like this. Let me speak on me. If I'm taking out someone and the kid is with us, yeah, I'm paying for the kid. Even if it ain't my kid.
Okay. What you think about that?
Yeah.
Wait, what was the last thing he said?
If the kid, if it was him and the girl had a kid and he said he paying for the kid too.
But
No, but he said if the man obligated to pay some kids.
Wait a minute. Okay. Let me look at it. If the kid is with you, right?
If the kid is with them,
Well, if the kids are with him, I mean, they're part of the date now. But yeah, because I mean, the way I'm seeing it, if she has children and she accepts the date, she's responsible for arranging whatever she has to arrange for the children, and stuff like that. That man, you just get to know that man. You just met that man, so why would you put that obligation on that man?
The kid coming too.
oh, he said at some point. Well, I guess he's basing it off if the kid is with her, but if he don't have the kids with her, then they the baby.
Or just buy him a pizza.
I guess he said just ball pizza. That's that. Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Give the babysitter money. Hey, you know.
Well, you know what? I think if we had been talking for a little while before that first date, right? And you know, y'all got a good vibe going on and stuff like that. It would be a good gesture to, you know, get a nice big pizza for the children so that they can eat. That's a nice gesture, sure. But you have to be careful with some women because then they will start to expect it every time, and stuff like that. And you have to be careful not to enable people like that. The good gesture is good sometimes. That's fine. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. But sometimes you start something, you better be careful what you start, because if you ain't gonna be able to continue that moving forward, you shouldn't be starting stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or have the conversation. Hey, why aren't they eating? Like, you expecting me to feed your children too? Why aren't you feeding your children already? Like, what's going on? Like, have a conversation, because I'm not going to be expected to do all that and we just get to know each other. Like, I don't think that's a good look. And a woman should not have that expectation right off the bat. She shouldn't. Now, if you as a man feel like that's what you would like to do to show her that you do care, and you know, you give a crap about her kids, and you know, you want to take her seriously, and you want to extend your hand, the olive branch like that, that's cool. But just be sure that that's not something that she's gonna always be expecting every time y'all go out, or you got to pay her daycare for the kids, or you got to do this. You got to, like, the obligation part is what I'm saying. You're not obligated. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that you don't mind doing and could do, by all means do so. But I don't think it should be an obligation. So so have y'all ever heard a woman say she needs a man that can handle her? If you have, like, what does that mean to you? What's that translation to you? I need a man who can handle me.
You know, a lot of things is a metaphor. And when you're dealing with metaphors, sometimes the women say that to test, test the guy's comments. Huh? I'm trying to call it up. They say that to test the theory, but they be wanting to see the comment on what you're going to say. And sometimes it's best to just, all that means is if you see what she doing, where you can fit into the holes and the balances, that's when how you make your move.
Oh, okay. That's one way to look at it. Because I know my antennas go off when I hear a woman say something like that, because that tells me she wants you to deal with her.
She said, "Oh, that means put me in my place." That's what she said.
Okay. Okay.
That's what she said.
Whatever.
Think that way, but that's not what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
No. That's not all I'm saying.
If your thumb come correct, don't come at all.
Get out. Get ready.
Stay over here.
Listen, if I hear something like that, what that tells me is that woman wants a man who can put up with her BS and her nonsense and her drama and her multiple personalities and her entitlement and her disrespect. Like, because some women, they're wired like that. And so when they say, because I don't want to have to handle my woman unless it's in bed. Okay. I don't want to have to. You can handle pets. That's what you do to pets or zoo animals or something like that. A woman is not none of those things. So if I gotta handle you, that's a problem. You need to grow up. I'm not trying to be handling you. The world is already throwing enough at me as it is. Then I gotta come home and handle you too. No, we ain't doing that. I protect my peace. So if a woman's talking about you, I need a man who can handle me. You just can't handle me. You know what? You probably right. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. We're not doing that, because you bringing a whole lot of stuff that ain't going to contribute to my peace. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. And now occasionally, if I gotta pull your card and check you, I'll do that if it's necessary. But no, if that's what you like to do, because some women love drama. Some women just love to stir up stuff and stuff like that and try to test her man every day. Every chance she gets, she want to test him and test him and test him. Man, come on now. Come on now. A man shouldn't have to handle you. Like I said, outside of the bedroom, he shouldn't have to handle you. But some people like that kind of toxic behavior. I couldn't do it. So, all right. I heard a scenario on the radio today where the sister, the brother came to the sister. He's a married man. Came to the sister and asked his sister if she would adopt the baby that he had with some side chick, but she would have to adopt. She said he would give her whatever help she need, but she could never tell the wife, right? Because the wife, apparently, they got a good marriage supposedly, but he went to his sister and asked her if she would adopt the baby, and so that the baby is with the family, but she can't ever tell the wife the truth about where the baby came from and stuff like that. So, woo. So the question is, would you do that for your brother? What would you do in that situation, knowing your brother done went out and stepped outside of his marriage and had a child with some chick, and he came to you and say, "Well, can you? Would you adopt the baby? And then that way we can still have the baby in the family, but I'll give you all the financial support you need or whatever. But you can never tell my wife like what the truth is. Would you do that?"
First of all, no, I would talk some sense into him and say you need to either tell her yourself because you're not being real. It's going to be living a lie. Because when that baby grow up and that baby mother, it's going to bring you trouble. Whether way you look around it, it's going to bring you trouble.
I agree 100%. Because that truth got a weird way always coming out. And you get that baby mama mad enough, she gonna mess around and let the truth move out. Yeah. No. I can't see my sister doing that. my sister be like, nah, you gonna have to face the music, bro. Yeah, that's a bad thing right there. Okay, so this was like a hypothetical. You played the lottery. You won $10 million, and you got an hour to spend it. You can't buy a car, a house, a yacht, a plane, or stocks. So what are you buying with that $10 million? You got an hour to spend it.
Paying off all my bills and buying credit cards so I can recompense that.
I tell you what, that 10 million, they say you can't buy a car. Okay, I'm gonna buy my food truck. I'm a front load my IUL insurance. I'm gonna make sure I got all the debts paid off. I'm gonna make sure I pour some money into Rhonda's business. I'm gonna make sure everything paid off. But 10 million is a lot of freaking money though. Mess around and buy some vacations for a while.
You buy that and you buy all secured credit cards. All these credit cards are secured. That way I get my money back. So like you get 10 secured credit cards, pay off all your bills, and with the last 10 minutes, then you go into all right, I'm gonna pay for this vacation, and bam.
Yeah, I think I would give away a good bit of it to my family and friends, so that they're good. I think I would definitely do that. But I know I get my business right. My business be set. Man, all the stuff I would have to pay for. Whoo. Oh man, and that food truck would be crazy. Whoo. I'd be so freaking happy, boy. Oh my Lord. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I have a question for I think both of y'all mamas, are y'all mothers, all of y'all, or all of y'all mothers. I know you mother Cora. Okay.
This me.
Okay. I have a question. I don't know if I doubt it, but I gotta ask. So soon Father's Day will be here, and stuff like that. So because Mother's Day is coming up soon and stuff like that. But has there ever been a time where you required your children to celebrate you on Father's Day as a single mother or whatever the case is? Have you ever required your kids to if they didn't say anything to you for Father's Day, did you get in your feelings, or did you have a requirement that they celebrate you on Father's Day too?
No, I let them go get their daddy gift, even if they'll be get dad. I mean, sometimes if they not in communication with them, I don't say nothing. But no, I'm confident in staying in my place.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. See, my respect is continuously growing for you. Because there's a lot of women who think that they're the mama and the daddy and not just a good mother. It's a real thing to be a great mom, and it's okay just to be a great mom, but you're not the mama and the daddy. I don't give a crap how much you do for your children. That just means that you're an absolutely amazing mom. For some reason, some women, they want to say that they're the mama and the daddy, and I'm like, wait, hold up, how? Because you can't be both. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you do. You just can't be both. That's not a thing. You might feel like you both, and I don't know how you might feel that way, but men and women, they offer different things to their children, and stuff like that. And I think a lot of women need to really understand that, because you know, I just don't get it. We have one day out of the whole year just for us, and we can't even have that by ourselves. Like we can't even celebrate that without that being, a problem. And I'm just like, good Lord, man, can we have something? Oh my Lord. One day. That's all we asking for. And some women they cannot release that day for some reason. I don't know why they're so spiteful with the baby daddy. Like I get that you're upset that it didn't work out and all this stuff, but ma'am, you still not the father. Like, why would now if men started to treat you like you was a dude, you would have a problem with that too. So you got to choose which side of the fence you gonna be on. But yeah, around this time, I always ask that question because some women they are adamant about. Now, I do know that as some kids get older, and sometimes their dad is just not around, even if he's in the same town. This dude is trifling. He's not around. He's not helping. He's not trying to contribute anything, and the kids want to honor the mom, and that's up to the kids. If they feel like they want to do that. But I would always urge the mom to redirect them to an uncle or a male figure in their lives that is influential in their lives, instead of saying Happy Father's Day to your mom, A mother and father, those are things that are gender very specific. A father can never be a mom or a mother, and a mother can never be a father or a dad. So that's that for me. I don't. I also seen where the Olympic Commission has passed, has finally said that transgenders cannot compete in the Olympic Games with the opposite sex and whatnot. And they shouldn't have never allowed it in the first place. Maybe it's on YouTube. Nope, that's not her. Where is it at?
Look at this. This rust remover spray could seriously put her.
But anyways.
In just 5 minutes, rust is gone, restoring the original silver gray
Huh?
triple action formula. Dissolves rust.
Huh?
No, I thought you said something.
I'm just blow drying here. I got a lot going on right now, so I'm kind of like in and out.
I understand. All right. But yeah, this situation with the wife thing is all over the net right now, and everybody's talking about it. But they're saying, everybody's debating who's to blame for this, and I'm just like, dude, let's stop at the fact that she's somebody's wife. First of all, let's stop at that fact, because you got your man right there at the concert with you, and you go up there and do it. So why are you asking who's to blame? Like, what you mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, you allowed yourself to do that. You can't then play the victim. Oh my God, that you just didn't have never loved me. Nope, that's not it. That is not it. That's crazy. And then we got this war to worry about. So whatever y'all got to do to store waters, essential things, first aid kits, all kinds of stuff like that, please do. Because they said that there's going to be an energy shutdown. There's going to be some kind of an energy shutdown where it's already bad here in DC, in the DC area, with traffic, right? So what they're going to do is, from what I'm listening to, is they're going to start limiting when you can go out, or where you go, or how much usage of your vehicles that you use. They'll urge you to take public transportation. There's a lot of stuff that they're going to start trying to do. So my thing is just make sure that you kind of try to get ahead of the curve, because once the crap hits the fan and things are difficult to get to, people are going to start making a run for water. People are going to start doing a whole lot of crazy stuff just to get supplies for their family. So you might want to consider starting to stock up, especially since you guys have small children and stuff like you have small children. You might want to make sure you have extras of certain things, because I don't know when this thing is going to happen, but I just don't have a really good feeling about what's happening, especially with this war situation. And Agent Orange has alienated this country, and really, I don't see us having any more allies after his stupidity and stuff like that. I really don't see us having a whole lot of allies after this. After this man is in office and stuff like that, and it's sad. It's real sad. So the gas prices are slowly creeping back up, and stuff like that. So it's whew, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then when you listen to him speak, he hardly can freaking put sentences together. And then he's just so full of himself. It's hard to watch. I never thought I would say that somebody is worse than George Bush, and I can truly say that this dude is terrible. I don't get it. Yeah. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do my station identification and all that good stuff. So for my sponsors and business owners and all that good stuff. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do really quick. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Meet the World Image Solutions, where Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson is the founder and the owner of her literary services business. That literary services business is for anyone who is writing, who wants to be an author, who is already an author and wants to refine their work or get their work out or and whatnot, or figure out a different way to market their works. She has a plethora of literary services that she has to offer. And you can feel free to reach out to her on her website at www.mtwimagesolutions.com. As MTW stands for Meet the World Image Solutions. And fill out the little form that's there and opt yourself in. And that way she'll get the message and she'll probably reach out to you. She has a lot of merch in there as well. She has a course if you want to figure out how to write a book, or how to get it published, or anything that you got to think about when it comes to that,
Did you ask me something?
Oh no, I saw him getting close to the screen. I thought he was coming to the screen. I thought he was coming to the screen. That's why I paused.
He's just talking a bunch of trash.
Okay, well, Cora, you can tell him real quick how to find you, what you do.
Oh, I almost forgot. Inspired by Love at the Hair Lounge, 301 Salon Suites in Waldorf, Maryland. You could reach me at 301-383-4703. I'm a licensed hairstylist. I do specialize in children, adults welcome, and I do braid takeouts, also shampoo, spa services, and I'm an artist as well. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Cora, and thank you for joining us. And also, last but not least, we have Mr. Craves Cookies, where it's a party in your mouth. You can find me on Instagram. Soon I'll have my website available. I will have my app available. Those are going to be coming within the next couple of months, and stuff like that. So I'm super excited about that. And you'll see all the exciting perks and all that stuff that is attached to the website and the app and all that good stuff. And but like I said, you can find me on Instagram at Mr. Craves Cookies and whatnot. And that you can find me on Instagram on under that particular plug. What's up, Maurice? How you doing, man?
What's going on? Looks like I missed a lot.
hey, I was just I was just getting through it. And right now I was about to cut the show. I hour show, you know.
Oh, I'm
And
about to get
whatnot.
it
But
restarted.
we were just talking about it. Huh?
So I'm about to get it restarted. Let's go.
Well, I touched on quite a few things, man. I touched on that. I don't know whether or not, and I don't know how you couldn't, but that Chris Brown married woman on stage type of thing. You seen
Oh
that?
yeah, that was wild.
Yeah. So I touched on that a little bit. I touched on very shoot. There was a lot of questions that I asked, but that was what I started the show out with. Was talking about that situation surrounding that married woman doing what she did on stage, and her response to her husband filing for divorce, and not at no point did she hold herself accountable. And that's the craziest part of it. But I'll let you expound on what you got from that whole situation.
Yeah, when these cats want to run around and say don't get married, yo, it's like you can't call them crazy no more. You just can't.
No.
Cause like, what's the point? I remember we talked about this a while back, but it's like, what does marriage mean, bro? Like, you need to have a definition for the thing. Cause you can't be like, well, marriage is whatever it is to whoever's in it. You That's insane. It just causes so much social discrepancy. There's no clear lines of what's going on, right? And that's the reason she can feel justified and not taking any accountability for it. It's like, why should she? She's defining marriage however she feels like it. She just didn't happen to let her husband in on how that definition. So that's why I mean, there's nowhere to stand in disagreement or agreement because there's no definition to what marriage is.
I definitely get what you're saying. I because in general, for me, how I look at marriage, of course, it has to be mutual, but like you said, now for me, marriage is an empty institution. Is what you add to the marriage that makes it what it's supposed to be, but it's a covenant under God, and it's and that covenant is a promise that you make to each other when it comes to your expectations, realistic expectations, and put it that way, and stuff like that. And it's a covenant under God to each other and to God and stuff like that. And when I saw that and I looked at her response to it, so she's basically dismissing his feelings and then saying, "Oh, it was just a friendly kiss." Okay, Maurice, when was the last time you kissed a female friend with your tongue?
Yeah, no, it was bullshit. And that's the thing, because there's no definitions, right? What's to say it wasn't a friendly? Like that's why I keep coming back to this same thing. Like, because even the definition you gave, I don't think it's sufficient because there needs to be a social aspect to marriage as well. It can't just be an isolated thing between two people. Because that's what essentially got her in trouble was the social aspect. Right? Like she just decided that.
You're talking about the social response to it? Is that what you're talking about?
No, the fact that she involved the third party. Because you know what I'm saying? Now it's a social thing. It's not in between those two anymore. Mm-hmm. Right? There has to be there's a reason. Like if it was just between two people, you could do that in the bedroom of your house, in the backyard of your house, and that'd be the end of it. And you go about your lives, and nobody needs to know. There's a reason. There's always some type of ceremony or presentation to the society because there's a social repercussion of what that union's supposed to mean. So you can't So that's why there needs to be a social definition, a very general, understood social, construct as to what this is supposed to mean and what is sacred and what is taboo. But if you start blurring those lines, this is what happens.
So, all right. So if that's the context in which you're presenting what you're saying, now the social context would be different for everybody. Or you're talking about a broad swept
Yeah,
definition that everybody should abide by.
yeah, because blue is blue is blue is blue, right? Like
Mhm.
you can go to anybody and everybody will be able to tell you what blue is because blue is blue. Marriage
Mhm.
needs to be defined just as clearly so that when people come across it, there's no discrepancy of what's going on. And when the violation happens, it's clear cut. I've always said that, the attitude of modern women at this point in time is they live in this world of plausible deniability. The only reason you can live
Mhm.
in that area is when things aren't defined,
Mhm.
when everything's up to interpretation.
Well, here's the thing. Now, with your analogy, we're talking about a color versus a social construct, right? Those two things are different. Now,
You said,
again,
but I
you
didn't hear the
can't look
first
up at.
word. You said covenant?
I said no. I said social construct. I said
No, before
blue
that,
is
you said
blue is
something
a
or
thing.
a social construct.
Yeah, blue. I said blue is a thing. Blue is an actual thing that you can
Hmm.
look at. Like you were saying, if somebody saw blue, you know it's blue. Now, people can bicker back and forth about what shade of blue it is, but you know
Hmm.
it's still blue. Blue is
Yep.
blue. Blue is going to be
Yep.
blue, like you said. But when it comes to marriage, like for instance, I like that in certain relationships, you have some relationships that are uh I can't say open. You got those swingers and it works for them, but they're married, right?
That's
That
where I'm gonna
marriage,
call that a
huh?
contradiction of terms. Like immediately, as soon as you
Well,
say that stuff, I call it a contradiction of terms.
well, you can call it that, but that's what works for them in their marriage, right? That's what works for them. You have polygamists. I personally, I need my own woman. I don't, what I'm saying? I don't share my woman. That's something I ain't gonna do. So but people have their own ideals about what marriage looks like, and within what works for them. So for me, marriage is a sacred thing. For me, marriage is something that should be treasured and not taken for granted. Marriage should be something that the both of you are invested in 100%, and stuff like that. Because that's how I was raised, seeing the people that I looked up to, do life, according to what the Bible said, according to, all of that stuff, but according to how they actually lived their lives. They honored each other. They didn't disrespect each other. My grandfather and my grandma, and stuff like that. They spoke to each other a certain way. Not saying that they never had disagreements or things like that. However, they always respected each other, and they treated each other with respect, and everybody saw it, the children and the grandkids. Um, so that was never in question. So for me, it gave me a basis of what that's supposed to kind of look like. And I saw how my grandma treated him and how he treated her within certain confines. And people say, well, submission is just for the woman to do. No, submission is actually both a two-person thing. Men and women just do it differently, right? So my thing is that within what you might define as marriage, because I'm gonna tell you, my definition of marriage ain't gonna be everybody's definition based off of what the examples I just used, like for the swingers and polygamists. Those not my examples of what marriage is. That's not for me. So I can't go and impose what I believe on somebody else, because what works for my life may not work for your life. But I will say that for him to be upset about it to the point where he divorced old girl, that tells me a few things. What his idea of what marriage is supposed to be wasn't what her idea was. Because if it was, she would have never put herself in that situation or put him in that situation. And then she had the audacity to gaslight him and say, well, if I'm paraphrasing, but basically saying that, well, if you're gonna divorce me over this, but you never really loved me, really, ma'am, really,
Oh, that
but
was the
you
game
call
playing.
a
She was
kiss
playing that
in
game
which
all
you
throughout the
used
marriage.
your tongue to kiss another man a friendly kiss. Okay. I
Listen,
don't get it.
like I hear what you're saying. Like the attitude you're taking is a very, libertarian, live and let live attitude. Live and let live
No.
is you until there's social repercussions. Like this always comes down because everybody can do whatever the heck they want to do. I remember my cousin gave me this example. Like, imagine you living in a place, right? And you have a neighbor that doesn't clean up,
Mhm.
right? That's live and let live, right? That's their problem. They want to make a mess and not clean up. That's their problem, right? And then they continue living in such a fashion that they start attracting cockroaches and rats, right? And then like whatever. That's how they choose to live, right? This, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden, the cockroaches and rats start visiting your place. Now, do you still have something to say? Now there's a social problem now. There needs to be a response. The response needs to be, and it needs to be. I mean, I get it that people have a hard time drawing a line on where, but at a certain point in time, you got to say, no, you can't live like this. Because you living like this causes an issue for the society. Right. So, yeah, I get it. You want people to be as free as possible, but freedom only can be tolerable if you actually maintain some type of social upkeep. There needs to be a duty to the society. And part of that duty is like, taking it back to what we're talking about as far as marriage, is if you do have these swingers and this, that, and the other, I reject the concept of calling anything like that a marriage. You can't call that a marriage. Call it whatever you want to call it, but you cannot call it a marriage. Because I think at a certain point in time, when oh shoot, I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I get what you're saying, but here's my thing. What I was saying, it was in no way to say, okay, live and let live. What I was basically saying was, listen, I can't control what another human being do. However, don't put it on my plate and expect me to swallow it and eat it. My thing is that you can't sit there and tell me that what you're doing, because as you said, and I will agree with the fact that I don't call those things marriage personally. They call it a marriage because that's what works for them. That's what I said. Because if they both agree to the terms of that union, well, then that's their marriage. That's what they consider a marriage. And I agree with you. For me, that's not how I view marriage. Marriage is something totally different for me. And I take that kind of thing seriously. Because if I take myself completely off the market, forsaking all others, for you exclusively, there's some expectations that's going to go along with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a covenant that I made under God. So I take it very, very seriously. Now, some people don't. Some people it's like a trial and error thing. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Well, for me, if I'm going into a marriage, I'm going in it with it. This has to work. And for a lot of people, it didn't work for whatever those reasons were. And I would never tell somebody to stay in a situation that's toxic for them or unhealthy. I would never tell someone to do that. However, what I'm saying is that when we're talking about the social side of things, when it comes to marriage and unions and stuff like that, society has erased the boundaries to so much so there's none. And now people are operating as if they should have no consequences. You know what I mean? And it's just it's messed up everything. That's why I can agree with the majority of everything that you've said, because when you don't have a boundary, you don't have lines that you're supposed to stay within, then everything is allowed. Everything is everything. So now you have a society that is just buck wild all over the place. That's pretty much what we've been kind of looking at now, because people don't have any respect for what a marriage is supposed to be anymore. That's out the window for most people.
I mean, with all due
Now
respect,
it's just a business transaction.
with all due respect, according to that woman, she probably wasn't full respect of her marriage. What are you talking about? So much so she's shocked. She had
said,
full
wait,
respect.
back up. I didn't hear what you said. You said according to that woman, what now?
Yeah, according to that woman, she had full respect for her marriage, because according to her definition of marriage,
according to her, okay,
right? Like this is the issue, because according to her definition of the marriage, forget him, right? Her definition of marriage, she was kissing a friend.
Yeah, right.
See this, and this is that libertarian mindset. The whole everybody just carries on their own set of definitions to what things are. Like, I think that Cora is a man. Now what? That's my definition. See how it just immediately, like me like if I say stuff like that, or people say stuff like that, I now get into this verbal combat with everybody to try to convince them what I'm saying is correct.
Right.
Versus actually having a conversation about Cora and all the other things that may be going on with Cora. But we're stuck on the fact that I'm saying she's a man and you keep calling her she.
Right.
Definitions, agreed upon definitions, are important, very important to any type of interaction with other. If you plan on interacting with other people at all, ever, you need a clear definition of what the heck you're talking about in the first place, or agreed upon suppositions, so that way the conversation could actually progress past sitting there trying to define everything. Again, when it comes to this whole marriage thing and people not wanting to define it, listen, everybody's looking for their freedom and their choices and their options. And they just use that as a... What's up?
What's the core part? I ain't gonna act like I ain't hear that. But,
I was just trying to drag you into the conversation because you wasn't. I didn't like the fact that you wasn't paying attention. I wanted to get your attention.
I already was all up in the conversation. You was late, first of all, so you missed the good valuable thing.
I know.
So what part you want to pick on me about?
No. It was just a harmless example.
Let's get that straight. I'm not a man. Let's get that straight.
I know that. Don't get twisted.
I might got two side rows of jaws, but I would never call myself a man. I got
never that. Yeah, that was some crazy dude. That I had to check that dude. Don't worry, that crazy dude, he gone now. I checked him. He good. All right.
Okay. I'm listening though. Don't think I'm listening. I just got clients. I run a business and a household and everything else. So that's correct.
I didn't ask for no justification. I was just saying, you here now. I expect you to be here. That's all.
I'm here. I'm here when you don't even think I'm here. How about that?
Okay, all right. The omnipresent goddess. Yeah.
But see, that's one of the biggest reasons why all this back and forth and this confrontation is when it comes to this trans issue, right?
Yeah. Same thing.
So you want me to believe that you're something that you're not, and I'm looking at the something that you are, but you want me to believe that you're the opposite, and I'm looking at the opposite right in front of me, and you trying to tell me no, that's not true. hold
Just
on.
as clear,
We
just as
just
clear
had
as
a
you feel.
definition, huh?
I was saying, just as clear as you feel about that is the same way I feel when swingers go around calling what they have a marriage.
Okay,
That's it's the
listen.
same way I feel. Like,
I,
no, you're
I'm,
crazy. It's not a marriage.
I'm with you, but for me, I'm not going to waste any time trying to convince them that what they got ain't a marriage, because to them that's their marriage. I ain't got to do with them. Ain't got look. Carry on. You ain't look. You ain't bothering me. You ain't influencing my life. Do what you do in the privacy of your own home. You entertain who you gonna entertain. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But if they want to call it that, they can call it that. I ain't got look. That's on them, and that's between what they got going on with God and them. So, but I'm not about to force anything on down anybody's throat and stuff like that, like these people do with these agendas with this trans situation. Like that's something I don't believe in. Don't force it down my throat. I'm not rocking with you like that. I'm not calling you them when you're one person. In school, we've learned that there's certain things that are singular, there's certain things that are plural, there's certain things that are female, there's certain things that are male. That's how the English language works. But now suddenly you come out of the woodworks talking about it's they, them. Who all are you talking about? I'm not understanding. Who all? I only see you standing here. What are you talking about? And so that's one of my hardest things. I'm trying to figure out. Like, no, I ain't even trying to figure it out. I'm sitting here like, are you that brain damaged to the point to where you don't see what you're saying makes no sense? Do you know the guy, what's his name? Anyway, they had a little forum, and there was a transsexual that was sitting beside him. Burly, big dude. You could clearly it was a dude. And the dude said the truth doesn't care about your feelings.
It's true.
And that was at the time when I first heard him say it.
What was that? Ben Shapiro, right?
Say again?
Yes. That was Ben Shapiro,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
That was it. At that time, I thought that was the best quote I had ever heard. I had heard in a long time. I said, that sums it up right there. You talking about what I feel like. Well, first of all, you can't wake up and be a woman. Dude, you can't wake up and be a woman. So for you to expect me to buy into your delusion, I'm gonna have to take a pass on that. I'm gonna take a hard pass on that. I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm just not gonna do that. I'll call you your name, but that's it. I'm not about to call you something that you're not. If you're not a female, I'm not about to call you a freaking female. I'm not doing that.
But I know you've already been in conversations with people like everybody else, but you actually give this person the truth. Like, it's no doubt the truth. It's not debatable. And this person knows you're telling them the truth, but they fight you tooth and nail, and they just refuse to accept it. They want their delusion or whatever fantasy they've created to continue on. Right? Like, you've dealt with these people, correct? You've spoken with it. And we're not even talking about just trans issues. It's just this allergic attitude that people have to the truth in general.
Oh,
they don't want to seek. They
swell up
truth.
like pufferfish.
Right? They don't want to seek truth. They don't want to deal with
Hey,
you.
Jessica.
Oh, she made it?
Oh my God, I forgot it was Thursday.
You slacking.
It's okay.
I am. As a matter of fact, I just told
okay.
the boys to take the trash up because I just saw it and I was like, oh my God, it's Thursday. I need a job or something so I can keep up with the days.
I told the folks you was gonna be back early, so later, so don't worry.
Okay, I am so sorry, y'all.
She blew her own spot. That got covered for you.
No, for real, I am so sorry. I literally I've been going through so much this week that the days have just ran into each other. I forgot it was Thursday. I just sat down and checked my phone, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And Billy was like, "What?" I said, "It's Thursday." I said, "I'm supposed to be on a call. I'm late as hell."
It's all right.
Anyhow, y'all
It's all right.
continue.
You know good and well how life be happening. Life be lifing. But because when Maurice came on, I was about to close the show at about an hour. I was about to close the show because I was trying to sift through my questions and my scenario stuff and stuff like that. We were talking about the Chris Brown married woman thing, right? That's how I started the show out with. Did you hear about that, Jess?
I did, and I look, and my response to that has been faithfully. I love me some Chris Brown. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I'm a Virginia native.
Mhm.
I love me some Chris Brown. But as a married woman, I mean, can I get backstage passes, maybe a hug? But I ain't doing all that.
Right.
That was disrespectful as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretty much, I don't know what the husband did afterwards, but
He divorced her.
if he's any, oh, okay, I was gonna say, yeah, if he's any type of man, then he probably left her ass, and now you gave up your whole marriage and your life for a kiss from a celebrity, and that's dumb. Yeah, like I
And
said,
then she
I
had
love
the-
me some Chris Brown. That's my
But see,
that's my
see,
baby daddy in an alternate like universe. But I ain't doing it in this universe.
But the craziest part was she tried to gaslight him and say, "Well, if we're gonna divorce over this, then you never really loved me. That proves that you never really loved me." I'm like, "Ma'am, you're looking at it backwards. Because he really, really loves you, that's why he's divorcing you. He's hurt. You hurt him. You disrespected him. You embarrassed that man. So why would you expect that man to stay with you when you just did what you just did on stage in front of thousands of people, millions even, because it's worldwide now?"
I promise you, it wasn't her first offense. I promise you.
Listen, I don't disagree, but
The reason that word, the reason those words can come out of her mouth is because she's used to saying it to him. That's because if you laughing at me that's how she been talking with her girlfriends, and she's used to saying that phrase because that's the craziest phrase in the world.
Especially considering what she did.
Yeah, that was great in disrespect. Like I said, I love Chris Brown. I do. I really do. It's on my bucket list to go and see him live. If I could get some backstage passes, I'd love that. But I just want a hug and a freaking picture. But if you try to put your tongue in my mouth, hey, we got a problem. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a whole married woman. Now, if I'm single and doing whatever, then that's a different story. That's my prerogative. And but my husband's there. My husband, he probably paid for the damn ticket. That makes it even worse. He probably paid for the ticket, and you really did that? Like, nah.
Honestly, that was his mistake. Like, I don't know. Me personally, this is a whole me thing. Like, I'm not gonna be with a fangirl. Period. You want to go to Chris Brown, be backstage, get a hug, do that whole $1,000 photo shoot, whatever's going. Like, that's just the fact that you want to do that. I find disrespectful. That's me.
I'm just saying that for myself. I am a Chris Brown fan. If I were to do that, which I don't have the desire to do it, but if I were to do that, it would at the very least be like, okay, can I get a hug and a picture or whatever? But it wouldn't go as far as what she did. For example, I'm a huge fan of HER, of her. I'm trying to find a damn city that is close to me that she's going to perform in. I want backstage passes. But of course, I'm not going to tongue her down either. It's just that because I think that she's a talented artist, that I would like to see her and meet her and just mark it off of my bucket list. You know, but some people, they take it to the extreme where it's a sexual attraction. I don't have a sexual attraction. When I say I love Chris Brown, it's not a sexual attraction. It is what's the word I'm looking for? Entertainment attraction. Like he's a great entertainer.
Right.
Just like HER is, or Michael Jackson was, or Diana Ross. You know, those are people that I would want to meet, but it doesn't mean that it's something sexual and she turned it into a sexual thing by letting him put his tongue down her damn throat like a big dummy.
Well,
Yeah,
she
that was
actually initiated that part.
Yeah.
Because you seen her tongue come out of her mouth. And I'm just like, really, ma'am?
Yeah, see, I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw like clips of it, more
Yeah.
still photos than anything.
Yeah. Because he was literally just hovering over her real close.
Yeah.
And she grabbed his face and began to kiss him. And I'm just like,
I did
man.
see where the husband was like in the front damn row, looking like the fuck. And I can't even be mad at that.
Well, see, that's debatable as to if that was the actual footage of the husband, because that I could have sworn I've seen that picture, that video, that particular guy in earlier years, as at a different kind of concert. So I'm not convinced that that's the husband. So as far as that particular guy being the husband, I don't think it was. I think I think that was spliced, but I personally don't think that that's the actual husband, but the husband was on the front row and stuff like that from what what the reports were, but I don't think that was him, because that's a very old video. That's an older video. I don't think that's the Chris Brown concert.
But let me ask this to because you guys are the guys. If you know your woman, right? And you know your woman has this huge thing for Chris. I mean, she was on stage. It wasn't like she was backstage or anything. Like she was on the stage. So, like, did he pay extra money for that? And then, like, what did he expect to happen if she initiated or even he initiated? Kind of like the same thing where remember that whole thing with I think it was Usher and Keke Palmer. So like, what did he expect if he did pay for those tickets for that event to go on stage? Because I don't think that they pick people randomly to go on stage. I think that well, sometimes they do, but well, let's just say for argument's sake, maybe this was paid for, and this was something that she maybe said. This was kind of like what I said, like it was my bucket list that I want to see Chris Brown, and then he said, "Well, you know what? I could do you one better. I can get you on stage." Like, so if that's the case, I'm saying if, then he's kind of stupid too.
Yeah. Oh, I already found it. He's a cuck. He is a cuck. This is beyond
he's kind of stupid too, because like, what did you think that would happen if you know your woman adores or loves or fantasizes about this man? Then you buy the tickets, and then she gets on stage and does what she does. It's kind of like, well, did you really expect if he? Let's just say it was him that made the first move. You said that it was her. That's fine. But let's just say it was him. She probably would have responded the same way.
It's because he was stuck in this gynocentrism. Like his mindset was whatever makes her happy is what I'm going to do, regardless of the fallout. Until it actually went to the extreme, and he couldn't ignore the reality of what he was staring at, which is essentially the bridge he built. And she was sitting there back there telling him to build it, and his dumbass built it. Yeah, he built it. Now once he got to the other side, then she might as well be riding Chris Brown. And he's like, "Oh shoot, I built this whole bridge just so she could ride Chris Brown." Yeah, that's the whole point of building the bridge in the first place. Yeah, no, that's literally your cuck. Yeah, that's exactly what you are.
No. Okay, I just wanted to point that out because he's not blameless. Yeah, she has more fault, but he's not blameless.
Again, he's not blameless, but he's definitely the victim.
Yeah, he's definitely the victim. Because she could have been like, "Yo, no, we're not doing that." But if,
no, go ahead. Finish.
No, I was just saying he's definitely the victim in the situation because she should have stopped it as a married woman. But at the same token, depending on the dynamics of the relationship and the people that we're talking about, if you're going to do that, knowing that this woman is in love with Chris Brown and you put her on the stage or you get her front, VIP passes or whatever, there's a possibility, then you're kind of I'm not saying to blame, but you're not faultless, if that makes sense.
Well, here's the thing. If you pay for, if I know, like for instance, Rhonda loves Anthony Hamilton, right? Now she ain't gonna fall all over herself to be in his presence. No, but she loves his music. She loves him as an artist. If I could pay for her to have a meet and greet with Mr. Hamilton, I would do that. However, I know her well enough to know that she wouldn't disrespect me.
Right.
So it wouldn't be an issue. I would pay for that gladly. However, there's nothing that's telling me that this man expects, especially considering he divorced her shortly after this happened, that he was expecting it to get that far, or for her to initiate a very, very intimate kiss with this dude. It's one thing for, say, for instance, if she was sitting on the chair and Chris Brown, he does his stripper thing, his grinding thing, or whatever around her on the chair. It's just like a surface deep type of thing because he's entertaining. He's doing his thing on stage. It's one thing. But for you to grab this man's face and kiss him, and you literally see her tongue slip out of her mouth and kiss him like that, first of all, that's an intimate thing. You just don't go around kissing somebody, French kissing people like that. That's not what you do to strangers. Number two, you had your husband there. If the husband brought her there for a Chris Brown concert because he knows that she loves her some Chris Brown, that's okay. I love me some Rihanna. However, I'm not going to do anything that's going to disrespect Rhonda. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that because I have that level of respect for her. For her to be a married woman and allow herself to be in a moment. So my example was, okay, so if they were at a party together, they came to a party together and everybody's friendly, everybody's been, chilling and having some drinks and partying and having a good time. He flops down on his chair, and this fine woman that was beside him, he don't know her, but he put her head on his lap because I guess she's feeling comfortable or inebriated, whatever. Suddenly his zipper is down and she starts dealing the tip of his stuff, right? She comes in, well, what are you doing? Oh, it's no big deal. It's just a friendly little tip nibbling. It's just a little friendly little tip nibbling. Okay. So then the next part of it, he goes to work. They have a work social, right? He invites his wife along. He sees one of his co-workers that he's been working with for years or whatever the case is. And she said, hey, it's been such a long time. I'm relocated over to the other place of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's been a while. They hug each other, but he double palms them booty cheeks. The wife sees this. Well, does she has a right to be upset? Of course she does. That's basically cheating. So her attitude when it came to this situation was all wrong. She never once apologized. She never once took any accountability. She talking about she got carried away. Ma'am,
I guess what
carried away and you got husband. No,
I guess what I'm
no.
I guess the only thing that I'm pointing out is that, and we've said this many a times, we know or we should know the person that we're with. He probably knew that if she was face to face with Chris Brown, that if the opportunity presented itself, that she would take it a little further than she should have.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's a hard one to sell.
I'm telling you as a woman. I'm telling you I'm telling you as a woman, if my husband, like I said, I love Chris Brown. Chris Brown is a Virginia native. I love him to death. I think he's a freaking, I think he's like the Michael Jackson of the modern age. He's never going to be Michael Jackson, but he's the Michael Jackson of the modern age. And I would love to see him. But I also know that my husband doesn't think that it would be a sexual thing if he were to say, okay, well, I got Chris Brown tickets and we're going to go see Chris Brown because I know you've always wanted to see him. Now, but if I were someone else, and like, let's say I always talked about him, fantasized about him, said things about him, shared posts about him, as a man, I might say, well, you know, she's kind of really heavily invested in this dude. I think she might want to sleep with him, and if she had the opportunity to do so, she probably would do so. So again, all I'm pointing out is that I'm not saying that these two particular people is the example, but most people know how much a person is invested into another person, whether it's, you know, even a celebrity. So maybe I'm just saying maybe he didn't realize that she was as invested in that aspect with him, to where she would take it that far, and that's why he did what he did. Like you said, trying to be the good man, the good husband. You know, my wife want to see Chris Brown. I'm gonna take her there and give her front row seats and do whatever, you know, because I want her to be happy.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but the only thing that made sense of that whole thing for me was the last sentence you said. I want her to be happy. That was the only thing going through that man's head, was I want her to be happy. If this is what she said, then I'm gonna do that. If this is what she said, then I'm gonna do that. And what he was hoping was that the fallout of her being happy was that he was going to be appreciated and praised for it. That was the whole hope.
Let's think about this. Hold on, real quick, because I'm like I said, as a Chris Brown fan, as a woman, if I was single, okay, I ain't gonna say it, but if I was single, I'm just saying, okay. But I'm not
sitting on a towel. Sitting on a towel.
So, but having said that, what I'm trying to convey in the message is that we know who our partners are invested in and how far they're invested into them. I can almost guarantee, I'm going to give it 80% to be fair. I can almost guarantee you that he knew that she had a sexual attraction to him. It wasn't just a musical attraction, an entertainment attraction. She had a sexual attraction to this man. And again, like we just said, he wanted to make his wife happy. And he got the tickets and took her and whatever. And he didn't expect it for it to go this far.
Right.
But I can almost guarantee you that he knew that it was a possibility if she had the opportunity.
I mean, nobody's gonna argue at that point, but it's a stretch still. Because it's possible that the sky could fall from the to the earth. Like yes, there was a possibility that she would do it. So much so that she actually did it. Amazing, right? Like yes, he knew. Like every man that ever gets involved with any woman, unless he has both his eyes shut, knows this is a possibility that she could step out of the marriage and do something to disrespect them. Right? Like, so I get what you're trying to say.
I think y'all are missing the point.
No, we're not missing the point. It's just that it's such a vague representation of like for his situation.
It's not though, because you think about it as a woman, like I said, one more time, as a woman who actually loves Chris Brown. Now granted, I'm a married woman that would never do that, but there are some women that if given the opportunity, they feel like, oh, it's just one kiss. It's something that I'll never have again in my life. It's not like he's going to wife me or anything like that. So my husband could just get over that. It was just a fantasy that I wanted to live out. So sometimes some men, not obviously not this one, because he left the ass, but some men will be like, oh, it was just a fantasy. It ain't no big deal. She got a kiss from Chris Brown, whatever. That's her idol or her favorite star or whatever it may be. And it's no big deal. But this man was like, yeah, no, you disrespected me and you humiliated me in front of the world, so I'm going to leave. But not all men are like that. But a lot of men are like that because they'll look at it like, oh, kind of like, let's say Janet Jackson. Remember the whole thing with Janet Jackson and she kissed somebody on the stage or something like that? And then I was looking at it like, I said, well, if that was my husband, and let's say he was a huge Janet Jackson fan, and she kissed him on the stage, right? I wouldn't lose my shit about it, because who the fuck doesn't want to kiss him? Shit, bitch, kiss me. I said the B word, sorry. Hell, kiss me too.
Hold on,
I'm like, can you kiss me too? Like, that's Janet Jackson. Like, that's like the all-time, like, back in the day, she was our favorite, So, like, if she kissed me on the lips, I'd be like, oh, Janet Jackson kissed me. Great. Doesn't mean I'm gay. Doesn't mean I'm this. Doesn't mean I'm that. I just got a kiss from Janet Jackson. I don't care.
So you say, hold on. Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
If everything that played out the way this one played out, but it's you, Billy, Janet Jackson, Chris Brown, Janet Jackson, you the dude, Billy is the wife. Follow?
I think so.
All right. So Janet Jackson approaches Billy, nose to nose. Billy reaches across, grabs her by the cheeks, and tongues her down right in front of you in the middle of a performance. You're saying, that's okay.
I'm not going to say that it's okay. No, hold on. Listen. I'm not going to say that it's okay, but you have to think about, I don't follow celebrities like that. I don't have like loyalty to celebrities and stuff like that. But there are some people that do. So that's their once in a lifetime kind of thing. Now let's just say Billy has this infatuation with Janet Jackson. If Janet Jackson kissed my husband, I was like, oh, well, that was nice. Okay, we going home now?
No,
right, cool, let's go.
You keep sanitizing my picture. I need you to depict it correctly. I told you she leans in a very sensual, sexual way. And he reaches across, grabs her by both of her cheeks, and they start tongue kissing, clear tongue kissing. The tongues touch before their lips.
Am I going to be excited about it? No, I'm not going to be excited about it. But let's say shit, he got Janet Jackson posters on the wall, and he's her number one fucking fan. I'm just trying to point out the fan part. He's her number one fan, right? I'm not gonna be happy that he did it, but I'm also going to kind of understand why he did it. Doesn't mean I have to accept it, but I can understand it. There's a difference. Because we have to remember these people are the celebrities that some people worship. Luckily, we don't worship celebrities here. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just saying that I can see how that can happen to certain people because a lot of people worship celebrities and they just want that one moment with that celebrity. Matter of fact, I think I've told this story before. I never forget. I was 16 years old. I went to a Heavy D, LL Cool J, and Salt and Pepper concert, and I loved LL Cool J. What girl didn't love LL Cool J? And I had backstage passes, and I was running around, and he went and got on the bus, and I was like, "Can I go with you?" And he looked at me. He was like, "Are you 18?" And I was like, "No, I'm 16." And then he gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he said, "Well, when you turn 18 and older, come see me." And look, I didn't wash my face for like a month. I didn't wash my face for a month. I ain't lying. I didn't wash my face. The right side of my face was dirty as shit for a whole month.
Man.
Because I just loved LL Cool J so much. You know? So again, we have to try to consider. I'm just saying consider. I'm not saying her actions were correct. I'm not saying his actions were correct. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying we have to consider the source and we have to consider the people that are involved in it. Maybe they are those types of people that worship celebrities to the extreme.
Listen,
Well,
I hear what you're saying.
With just
Let me just rock
what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, it's almost like, to what end? Like, I don't think anybody that heard that story didn't understand her and why she did it. Like that goes with no explanation. Everybody knows why she did it. So the understanding part is irrelevant. You know, we understand why she did it. You mentioned also, yeah, of course we know what she did. She was horny. She wanted. She saw an opportunity.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay. I mean, what else is there to understand? She was horny.
Okay.
She saw an opportunity to make out with, right?
Okay.
She saw an opportunity to make out with Chris Brown right then and there. She knew she was probably never going to have this opportunity again, and she jumped on it. Everybody understands that.
But I'm not arguing that I never argued that she's right.
I'm not
that she was in the right.
Again, I'm not saying that it's, whether she was right or not. I'm just saying when it comes to understanding, because you say I understand. Yeah, everybody understands why she did it. Understanding is not even remotely the issue of understanding what she did. I understand. Everybody understands. It's not like, somebody that got shot out in the middle of the street and we don't understand why it happened. No, this one, it was clear cut. There was no, she doesn't have to explain anything for everybody to understand what happened.
You're right.
My whole point was I understand fandom, but I also understand marriage. You're a spouse. I've never been so starstruck by anybody to the point that I'm willing to disrespect my wife or my significant other to just have a moment with that person. That moment, as you can see, changed their whole trajectory of their life. All because she got carried away. First of all, there's not that much carried away in the world. I'm sorry. because you're conscious about the things that you do and the choices that you make. That was a choice she made, and she did not consider that man. She did not consider for once how that man would feel about it. And like Maurice was saying, and the example he was giving you about Billy, if Billy initiated contact to this woman's face and proceeded to reach his head out and French kiss Janet Jackson, you are going to feel disrespected. Any married woman who cares about her marriage and her man would feel disrespected by that because he initiated that particular form, intimate contact. To French kiss another person, that's an intimate thing. That's not just a kiss on the cheek. The kiss on the cheek, whatever. That's cool. Whatever. But we're talking about a tongue in this boy's mouth.
Hold on, but I said that.
Yeah.
That's not what I would do. If I was at a Chris Brown concert, if I had can I get some backstage passes? Can I get a hug and a picture? Like that's the extent for me as a married woman. Now, if I was single, it'd be a different story. But I'm a married woman, therefore I would not do that. And I mentioned that. Right. What I was trying to point out is that he had to know. I'm sorry. He had to know to an extent that something could go wrong in this scenario. That's my opinion on it. And y'all can bash me for it if you want to, but I have a logical husband, and if I sit there and I talk about Chris Brown every day and that's all I do and I want to go see him, I don't know. For me, I feel that if she has that opportunity, that she would take it. I'm not blaming, but hold on. I'm not blaming him. I want to make that very clear. I'm not blaming him. He was just trying to make his woman happy. But he also had to realize that if the opportunity presented itself, that she may very well take the opportunity because she's such a huge fan. Because unfortunately, a lot of times we are such huge fans that we'll give up everything just for, well, not we, they'll give up everything just for that short period of their fantasy. So I'm saying, like, I'm trying to look at it because I don't know them, I don't know her, I don't know him, I only know what the social media said. So I don't know. Maybe she fantasized about him, and maybe she talked about him all the time. So maybe that wasn't a good idea. But he was trying to make her happy. So again, there's no win-win in this situation, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know. The way you explain it, like it all evens out, but I can't. I don't know. Like, that's what it's sounding to me. I might be crazy, but this is not like a situation where it all evens out. This is like, she has that disease where she slipped and fell on his dick type disease,
Right.
Okay, but hold on. But
hold on. I let you rock. No, stop. I let you rock. Let me rock. And like, she got stuck and she kept on trying to get up. And for some reason, she keeps falling down every time she gets up. And she just kind of fell into. That's what has happened. Like, and homeboy only knew what was presented to him.
Don't y'all know y'all women though?
Huh?
Y'all know, right?
If we knew women that well, nobody would ever get cheated on. That's crazy.
No, you know your woman that much.
Okay,
you know at least that much.
Okay, but even if you know your woman, then you think every man that's ever been cheated on didn't know their woman? There's a ton of them. She would never do that. You ask him,
but that's the point that I'm making. So if let's say, for example, I'm just using an example. Let's say I always talk about, we're gonna stick with the Chris Brown. Let's say all I ever talk about is Chris Brown. The only music I listen to is Chris Brown, and hell, I might even get horny when I listen to Chris Brown, and we have sex when we listen to Chris Brown. Let's just say that's it. That's the scenario, right? What makes you think that if she didn't meet Chris Brown, that she won't gonna be horny when she met Chris Brown and do what she did? So sometimes I don't know this dude. I'm really being biased. You think I'm not? I'm sorry, unbiased. But you think I'm not? We don't know everything that happened behind closed doors. Maybe he knew all of this stuff, but again, he was just trying to make his woman happy by getting these tickets and going to see Chris Brown. But he knew damn good and well that if she had the opportunity to pursue something with Chris Brown, even if it was just for the moment, that she would do so. So therefore, he's just, what's the word you use? A cook, as she is a adulterer. He just as stupid as she is.
But see,
That's
this is the
all
reason
I'm
why
pointing out.
But this is the reason why I had disagreed with that assertion that he had to know. Because if in fact he wanted to just make her happy by treating her to a Chris Brown experience as far as the concert goes, there is no way on earth a man who is a married man, dedicated man, could have known that she would have initiated French kissing this dude on stage in front of everybody. There's nowhere in the world he thought that she was just gonna disrespect him like that. There's no way. I can't buy into that. I can't, because there's no way. Even if I know how big of a fan, there's a difference between being a fan and you having your real life and knowing that if you met this person, you'd be excited. You want to hug, like you were saying. You want a hug from him and a picture. Okay. There's nowhere in the world you're gonna jump on Chris Brown, wrap your legs around him, and hug. You're not doing that. I don't see you doing that. Why? Because you're not single, number one. Number two, you respect Billy. So those are two factors I know about you. You're not gonna go and embarrass Billy like that. There's no reason why, if Billy paid for your tickets to go and have a meet and greet with Chris Brown, that he would think that you would take that opportunity to just pounce on Chris Brown and French kiss him. There's no way in the world a married man who's dedicated to his wife is going to think that you take the opportunity to disrespect them like that. I wouldn't believe that. There's no freaking way.
Honestly,
So
we can lay it on real thick. Let's say
that being a concert, what else do you think would happen at the freaking concert other than if she got pulled on stage, he might dance on her around her, but for her to grab his face and shove her tongue in this boy's mouth, who would have thought that she would have done something like that? Because that's a married woman. Ain't no way in the world I'm thinking that that's gonna happen. There's no way.
Have you met?
If you told me that
you met
probably
these
be
married
excited,
women lately?
yes, and we can go home and she can take it out on me. Great. But I'm not about to believe that that's what she's gonna do is take the opportunity to embarrass me in front of thousands of people.
But we're talking about people like Rhonda. We're talking about people like Jessica. We're not talking about. Have you met the women of today?
Well, you do have a point there now.
No. You gotta lay it on real thick. Right. Let's say man and woman in this marriage, right? They're married, and this woman, even before she met him, he was, die in love with Chris Brown. You listen to Chris Brown music. Let's say he met her that way, just in love with Chris Brown music. She's always bumping Chris Brown music. Before they make love, she bumping Chris Brown music. When they dancing around and all their romantic stuff is surrounded around Chris Brown music. What makes you think that if he brings her to a Chris Brown concert, that she's gonna jump that line? what would precipitate that based off of everything I just said? Which is like this is the thickest scenario of somebody obsessed with Chris Brown.
You just really made my point.
No, I'm saying there's nothing there that would say she's definitely going to kiss Brown if I bring it to the concert. If anything,
Yes, she is, because
if she brought him to Chris Brown, he would just get more of that appreciation that she's been showing him every single time Chris Brown comes up. That's what he's learned in the relationship.
But that's where we go back to what you said earlier. He's a cook.
No, he's a cuck for other reasons. Stop.
Because I
The reason she's a cuck. No, I have to define why I said
y'all know so much better because y'all women.
Yeah, I have to define the reason why I say he's a cuck. The reason I say he was a cuck is because I know also that this was not the first time she disrespected him in public, and he allowed it to happen. That's why she had the nerve and the bull. Not exactly, because it's two different things that combine. These are two different things that combine at one point.
She had the opportunity to do it again.
No. That's the same thing.
Chris Brown, that she would do it. So I'm not saying he's to blame or that he's wrong, but he's stupid.
No, you're conflating two roads. Yes, they meet at Chris Brown. There is the road of him allowing him. This is him allowing her to disrespect him in public. That is one aspect. Has nothing to do with Chris Brown. Then there's her obsession. Then there's her obsession with Chris Brown.
James Brown.
We're
not talking about Kevin Brown. We talking about the world infamous Chris Brown. These women pay $1,000 just to take a picture with him, and you think for a moment that these women who adore Chris Brown and fall out just like people used to fall out for Michael Jackson in the crowd, if you think for a second that his face is on your face and you ain't gonna take the opportunity to kiss him, whether you're married or not, that is stupid. Now, again, there are people like myself that would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not doing all that because my husband is here, I'm married, and I'm not doing all that. But there are women who don't have that value. So again, yes, it does make a difference because we're talking about Chris Brown. We're not talking about some flake ass entertainer. We're not talking about I don't even know I don't know nobody recent. We're not talking about some flake ass entertainer. We're talking about Chris Brown here.
This same attitude happened with the whole situation with Salt Bae. Remember when Salt Bae was cutting up meat and putting it in women's mouth? On these dude bring out to Salt Bae, pay who knows how many $100s for this gold-plated steak or whatever. Salt Bae would do his sprinkle salt and stuff, cut the slice of meat, and then hang that meat above the girl's head as he put it in the girl's mouth. Like that, that is no different than the situation that was going on with Chris Brown. These men would be paying all this money, bring their girl out for an evening to Salt Bae because that is a whole ambiance. It's a whole social attraction. Now they get wrapped up in the moment, and all of a sudden, some dude, a famous dude, is hanging meat above her head. It's the same thing.
I understand what you're saying, but you have. I guess not. You don't have to understand. We are talking about Chris Brown. Chris Brown is listen. Chris Brown is the equivalent, in my opinion. This is my opinion only. He is the equivalent of the Michael Jackson of this generation. He'll never be a Michael Jackson, but he's the equivalent. People used to pass out at Michael Jackson's concert. Anybody, most people would love the opportunity just to breathe the same air that they do. So again, what I'm trying to convey is that he knew what would happen. He did. I'm sorry, you can't tell me nothing different. He knew what would happen if she got anywhere close to him. Or let's just say, okay, I'll give you another one. Let's say he said, you know what? Baby, I gotta work. I can't go to the concert, but I got you the tickets anyways, right? If that happened, he probably knew that if she had the opportunity to screw him, she would. He knew that.
Okay.
He knew that before he bought the ticket.
Yep. Because
That's the point that I'm trying to convey.
Yeah, no,
I'm
we
not
heard the
saying
point.
that she was wrong. I mean, right? That it's okay. I'm just saying that he also knew that there was the possibility of something like that happening.
Yeah,
so he can't really be mad. I mean, he can be mad. He can be mad. And obviously he is. And he did what he did. But he knew prior to that.
Yeah, so
that it was a possibility.
That sounds
That's
crazy.
what I'm conveying.
That sounds crazy. It's like I'm gonna walk down this road and I know that I'm gonna get killed. So let me walk down this road. That sounds crazy. Like, I don't know how.
It doesn't sound crazy.
I know. As soon as my girl has an opportunity to tongue down Chris Brown at this concert, she's gonna take it. So let me bring her. That's how you're.
It doesn't sound crazy to me because a lot of times you all do what it is that is gonna make us happy. Okay, she wants to go to the Hold on, let me fucking finish.
No, I'm not gonna let you fucking finish because you keep talking and you don't stop. So what I'm trying to say is that's insane for somebody to do that. That's not how men function. We don't function on possibilities. We function on probabilities.
For you.
I thought you won't let me finish.
No, because it's the same for you.
Let me finish.
And it's the same for Dedrick. No, maybe it wasn't insane for the dude that bought the tickets. Maybe it wasn't insane for the dude that bought the tickets for his wife.
How men are. I know how men are. So you're basing off the experiences that you have. You're not basing off this man because we don't know this man. Nobody knows this man. I'm basing it off how men think in general.
In general, but you don't know this man. Like you just said.
So then why did he divorce her? He should have stayed with her then. Why? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like what you're talking about is not only doesn't it make sense, it's illogical. He should have just stayed with her. If that's what he knew that was a possibility, right? And he brought her there anyways. It happened, and then he's gonna divorce her. That's what I'm saying. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. It lacks all logic.
Okay, look. Okay. Let me say this then. Let's say it wasn't Chris Brown. Let's say it was John Brown, and he won't famous, and something happened, right? Obviously, like you said before, you said it, not me. She done disrespected him before, and that's why he was whatever.
Yeah, that's conjecture though.
Okay, hold on. So let's say it was John Brown, a nobody, and not Chris Brown. The reason why he divorced her is because he was publicly humiliated.
It could have been in private. The principle is still the same. Like that's a married woman. The principle is still the same. He would have still felt disrespected. He would still felt embarrassed. He would have still felt some kind of way about that woman, his wife, turning down somebody. It wouldn't have mattered who it was, but
But if it was more private and not on a world stage for everybody to see, like Maurice said earlier, and I'm quoting Maurice, not me. I didn't say this. Maurice said that he must be used to pretty much being disrespected, right? You said that, not me.
Okay.
So if it was John Brown at a comedy club or some bullshit that nobody really paid attention to, and he wasn't publicly humiliated on a world stage for millions of people to see, he might still be with her. But because he was humiliated on the stage, he said, no, I can't do this because you publicly humiliated me. And a lot of
No.
men believe,
Yeah.
hold on, let me finish my
No.
sentence.
Yeah.
And I know this for a fact.
Yeah. No,
A lot of men,
this is your woman coming out right now. You abandon your logical side.
because it's about pride.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It is about pride.
You're assuming you're understanding how men think about these things, and that's what I'm saying. This is where
I've been raised around men all my life.
Doesn't mean you are one. It doesn't mean you are one. So
I'm not assuming anything, and I'm not.
You are assuming. You have to assume. Unless you're a man, you're assuming.
To what I think that I know about men, I'm just going
what
off
you
of my
think,
observations.
What you think you feel you know about men, but you're not one.
Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
Oh. You think you feel you know these things. I feel you for that. I appreciate you for trying to empathize. But I'm trying to tell you everything, all the connections and things you're putting together to try to understand this situation. You are missing a major aspect on how men approach and see these things. Like everything you're talking about is as if this dude is literally insane. Like you would have to be literally insane to have known that she was had the possibility of doing this, felt as much, and still went through and did it, and then divorced her when she did it.
Mm-mm.
What the hell? What kind of man is that? What kind of human being is that? Tell me what person would do that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I don't know what men you've been dealing with that you think this is acceptable behavior for a human being or typical behavior for a human being. But that's craziness.
I'm like on this particular point in general, in particular, I agree with Maurice because there's no freaking way. There's no way that a man thinks along those lines. Men and women, you can be raised around men all you want. However, when it comes to how men operate and how we're wired, we are not wired to knowingly go into a situation that knows that we're going to come out on the worst end of it. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So to sit there and think that you think you know how men think, ma'am, you're not a man. So you can't sit there and say, oh, that's what we would definitely do. We don't operate that way. So I that's the one point I didn't agree with because I there's no way. Let me go ahead and close out the show right now. Give me a second, Maurice. You want to give a shout out right now?
Oh, you talking to me?
Maurice.
No.
Maurice. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Did
stress.
You want to say anything before I close the show out?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right, let me close the show out real quick. All right. Thank you guys for attending and checking us out on Soul Flow Conversations. I have been your host. We had the phenomenal Mrs. Fields on stage. We have Mr. Maurice on stage, and we have Miss Cora on stage. I want to thank all of you guys for coming out and spending some time with us. And until next Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will see you guys later. And we are out.